Hello everyone, it's Geaux Stros. I apologize for that intro there. Apparently there was no audio. Sometimes my laptop, Windows, just decides to do an update overnight, just automatically restarts. And for whatever reason, it completely changes all the settings. The audio settings are reset and they're not working, so I have to restart them. According to what I'm seeing now, everything is good to go. The live is working, the audio is working. Everything that I said before I'll have to restate simply because you didn't hear any of it. But I left my house really early this morning because I have to pick up a refrigerator in the city. Unfortunately, I have to pick it up at the same time the game starts. So what I decided to do was bring my laptop, get everything set up in the net cafe, get the game going, and get the live stream going so you can have the live score and all of that. And I'm going to leave here a little before game start so I can get my fridge, and I'll come right back here as quick as I can. I don't know how much of the game I'm going to miss. Hopefully when I go there a little early, they'll be able to see me a little early, and then I can get it as quickly as I can and get right back over here. But I have no idea how long it's going to take. It's not very far from here, but we'll see. As soon as I get it, I'll come right back here. Just wanted to let you guys know. If you're wondering why I'm not here, I will have an image on the screen actually, and I will show that to you so you'll see what I'm talking about. Where's it at? 1 second. Actually, I need to put this over here, my software on the other screen. There it is right there. You see that? This is back after I pick up my fridge. For those of you who don't know what's going on, you will know now whenever they come in. Whenever they take a look at the screen, they'll see this is why I'm not here. I've gone out to pick up my fridge. Okay, but for now I can take that off the screen. Right now it is 10:21 in the morning. For me, the game starts at about 11:10. A little before that, I'm going to leave, probably in about 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes. For now, I'm going to leave and try to get the fridge as quickly as I can and then get back here. The game API is working, so on the screen you will see the score update, the balls, strikes, outs, and inning. Unfortunately, and you'll also see the batter, but unfortunately the bases, the base runners will not be updated. I still haven't been able to fix that. Hey King Tuck, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey bro to you too. Let me come right back. I'm going to grab some coffee and I'll return. All right. Well, I think I need to check my camera level. I mean, my microphone levels here. They appear to be down a little bit. Yeah, they are. Move that up to about right there. I believe that's okay. Okay, I think that's fine for now. King Tuck says, never feel good about Gusto. Yeah, I understand a few people feel like that, but I feel okay about Gusto. Normally, if you look at his track record, what kind of a pitcher he's been in his career, he's typically a guy who has a lot of control, able to keep it in the zone, doesn't give up a lot of walks. He started off like that with the Astros early on. Started to lose it a little bit, but recently he's gotten that back. So I really don't think you have anything to worry about. I think we don't have anything to really worry about. Got just enough time to have a little snack before I go pick up the fridge. I should probably pick up my or check out my email just in case, to make sure I don't have any change. Make sure that the guy that I'm buying this fridge from hasn't made any change to our scheduled meetup time. I'm going to give him a courtesy email. To let him know that I'm going to arrive on time. I hate these websites that I just logged in like 4 days ago, and when I try to log in again, it sends me an identity verification. I'm just so tired of that stupid, useless nonsense. They say it's for your own security. Why do I have to get a security verification email every few days when I log in again? And why can't I just stay logged in? Let my security be up to me. I don't want my security to be completely in the hands of them. If somebody else tries to log into my account and they don't have my password, they shouldn't be able to get in. Period. If I try to log in from the same computer every few days, why should I have to go through so many hoops just to log into my account? I inputted the correct password. Why do they have to verify it's me? Ridiculous, ne? Alright, email. Okay, I need a little translation help here. Well, it looks like I have 11 people following right now and 2 likes. Game doesn't start for a while. In case you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm at a net cafe here in Hiroshima City today. You probably can't hear it, but there's a guy snoring in there. I'm sending an email to the guy I'm buying the refrigerator from. Just a courtesy email. It's 30 minutes before the time I'm supposed to be there. I'm just giving him a courtesy email to let him know that I'm still on my way over there as planned. I'm very excited because the fridge that I am going to pick up is pretty big. It's a Hitachi 365 liter fridge, but it is massive. It has a lot of storage space, 2 big freezer compartments, which is perfect for me. And selling it for just 2,000 yen. That's less than, well, it's basically about $14. Just have to go pick it up. I'll slide it right into the back of my van and come right back over here. But typically if you buy a fridge like this, a used one, this same year, same model, you have to pay, I would say, at least $300 or $400. But this one has a little discoloring and a dent in the door, but otherwise it works fine. So it's just cosmetic. People don't really want it because of cosmetic issues, but I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with that at all. My Kominka, we need things that work. Don't care too much about the cosmetics. Not right now. That can come later. Yes, that's right, King Tuck. Bredis is back in the lineup indeed. Yes, he is. Whenever he got his injury the other day, I told you guys it wasn't serious. There was no way it was serious because when he started limping, I mean, he didn't grab his leg and fall down to the ground. They didn't have to help him to the dugout or anything. And then even later on, he was walking around, standing and walking around the dugout. That is not a major injury. That's why I didn't even think it was his hamstring, because I didn't see any major pain. But let's hope he has a great day back. As soon as I finish this, I gotta go. Can just pour my coffee in here. Probably going to leave here in 4 minutes, guys. But don't worry about the scoreboard on the screen. It will start to update once the game is starting. The current batter, the pitch count, or rather the count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, whatever. The outs and the inning will all update automatically. The score will update automatically. All of those things will be on the screen until I get back. I've already got 6 likes on the channel. I appreciate it, guys. We're way off from the game starting, and I am going to miss the first, I don't know how many minutes. If I'm lucky, it'll just be like 30 minutes. I'm hoping that I miss maybe 20 or 30 minutes at the most, that I can get back over here quickly and get on the live stream again. There we go. Until I get back, I'm going to mute the microphone. But that's it for now, guys. I will be back. Please hold down the fort. And I promise I will return as soon as possible. Love you guys and gals. Be back in a bit. Geaux Stros. Well, guess what, guys? I am back. How about that? I get back pretty quick. I've got to readjust my highlight window for you guys. And then we'll be up to speed on what's going on in the game. Myers is at the plate right now, by the way, facing Spence. He hits it up the middle. Hey, how about that? A leadoff hit. All right. Awesome. A single right up the middle. Nice line drive single for Jake Myers. I didn't have any problems at all. Everything went really smoothly. I went over there, got my fridge, and came right back. All good. Cam Smith is at the plate now. Jake Myers on first base, no outs. He goes after that first pitch, but it is a strike. Swing and a miss. What did I miss in this game? Missed the Astros scoring a run. Who got the RBI? Altuve? Did he get a homer? Was it a solo homer? Did I miss an Altuve homer? Are you kidding me? Is that what happened? Here's the pitch. Another swing and a miss by Cam. Strike two. Difficult to see my chat on the screen. It's so small. I might have to move it around. I might do that. I'm going to try that. I want to move my game screen onto my laptop. And I have to rearrange my layout here. I've got a completely different layout right now than what's normal because I'm at the Net Cafe. I'm trying to make it to where I can see things a little more clearly, guys. Myers gets doubled off a line drive. Cam Smith hits a really sharp line drive and gets doubled. Myers gets doubled on first base. There's a replay. Myers was way too far off the bag. So our base runner is eliminated with that bad base running by Myers. Too far off the base there. Caratini is at the plate. Caratini had the sacrifice fly yesterday that tied up the game. 0-1 to him. Here comes the next pitch from Spence. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm gonna have to adjust my playing screen again, or my preview screen. Here comes the next pitch. Too far inside, and that's a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Caratini. Comes the next pitch. Just a little high and outside. Check swing. Did he go? No. Hi. Okay, guys. I've got another delay. They said I can't talk in this room, so I'm going to have to change to another room, so I'll be a few minutes. I'll be back as soon as I can. Okay, here's a quick update. I'm not allowed to talk in this room, so I just changed to another room. It'll be just a few minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Alright guys, are we up and going? It looks like it. Yes, finally. Thank goodness. Good grief. Took forever. Alright. Paredes is up at the plate, guys. Isak Paredes. So far 0-1 today. Next pitch is on the way. On the outside edge. Strike one. Okay, basically what happened, guys, I'm still trying to get my power hooked up here. I wanted to hurry up and get the stream going. But basically what happened was they rented me the wrong room. I needed a private room with a key. A private room with a key means you can close the door and lock it like you see here. And it's closed in so you can talk. The other rooms you're not allowed to talk, because you'll disturb the other people. There are walls, but there's no roof in between the spaces, so people can hear each other talking. And so they said, hey, you can't talk in here, you got to go into another room. And I said, well, I tried to get that room, but I didn't see it on the computer. And even though it said that it was available, but they gave me a room that I'm not supposed to talk in, so I had to change rooms. That's the story, guys. Here's the next pitch, Paredes. That was in the dirt, full count. I'm still trying to get completely situated here, so give me just a moment. I'm gonna adjust the lights in here so I can see a little better. The monitor on the screen is not so bright, so it's a little hard to see. Wow, Paredes fouls that one way off. Way off into the crowd. There's not a good spot here for my mouse. I'm gonna have to put my mouse on the chair next to me. Okay. Next pitch to Paredes on the way. Grounds that one to the third baseman, who fires over to first. Puts him away. And that's it for this inning. I'm still trying to get caught up on the game, guys. I really apologize for the delay. I mean, I'm still a little ahead of schedule. I think right now it's 11:46. Altuve comes to the plate. I guess Altuve's 1 for 1 today. Is that right? He's got an RBI. Here's the pitch. Whoa, almost took his head off. Be careful there, man. Don't be hitting my guy. Now they're having a little discussion because Altuve hit a home run earlier. And then this time he throws it right at Altuve's face. A fastball right up at his face, and now the umpires are discussing. They're giving him a warning. They didn't toss him out, but they're giving him a warning. Because Altuve hit a homer his last at bat, and the very first pitch he does a fastball right to the face. So all the umpires are out there warning Spence. Spence is laughing about it. He thinks it's funny. That's not a good attitude to be laughing about that. You know, I think that if a player is going to respond like that, if they're going to respond by laughing about it, then they just need to go ahead and come out. That's my feeling. Anyway, I'll get caught up with the chat in just a moment. I want to feel like I'm back in the swing of things, and then we'll get back with you guys. Here's the next pitch to Altuve. Outside, ball 2. At least that one didn't go inside on him. So I'm going to turn this around a little bit more. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay. If you guys could see my setup, it would look pretty funny. Little low and outside. Almost got that strike zone, but not quite. 3 balls and no strikes to Altuve. So apparently I did miss a solo home run by my hero, which is sad, but also I'm happy at the same time. Here's the pitch. That one's in there, just barely inside the strike zone for the first strike of the count, 3-1. Whew. Goodness gracious. Let me plug this in. Might as well plug this in and get some power going to my Headset. Next pitch is on the way. It's hit hard to left field, but way too much air underneath it. And it'll just be a fly out. Bottom of the third coming up, 1-0, courtesy of a solo shot by Mr. Superman himself, Jose Altuve. Now I can finally get caught up with the live chat. Let's see what's going on in the live chat. Shall we? Shall we? Let me go back and see what's the word in the live chat. What all did I miss, guys? What all did I miss? Let me see. Go all the way back to the beginning. Mark says, hello, chatters. Lance has a foot sprain. Yes, I heard about that. I'm glad it's not an arm problem, just a foot sprain. Lance sustained an injury exercising. Expected to miss 2 starts. Yeah, he'll be okay soon, I think. Hey, Sergio. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you again. King Talk, of course, you've been here. You got here pretty early, so thank you for being here. It's that time. Let's go Astros, says Sergio. Yes, that's right. Tuck says Angels leading Yankees in the 11th. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Mariners losing, but it's only the 2nd. That's true. I'll go back and check those scores in just a second. I'm interested to see how those things come out. Sergio says tonight's game is an away game at Sutter's Park, so the Astros will be first at the plate. Yep, that's right. Visitors. Chatter's banner will be along shortly. Thank you, Sergio, for letting everybody know that. That's true. I had to go pick up a brand new refrigerator. Well, it's used, but for me, it's new. Like Sergio said, it's new to me. So I'm really happy. But I was able to get that quickly. But when I came back here, they told me I had to move rooms. Because I can talk in here, but I can't talk in there. So I need to get my coffee. My coffee's right up there. It's kind of right out of reach. But it is really comfortable in here. I've got a really nice footstool. I've got my shoes off. Got my socks, just my socks, my bare feet. It's a nice recliner. I need this at home. It's a late one here on the East Coast. Yes, it is. It's the middle of the day for me. Started at 11. Tuve homer for sure. Okay, let's get back to the game here and see what's going on. We got a batter at the plate with a 1-0 count. That's grounded to the third base side. Guillorme gets it, fires to first, and has got him. Good play by Guillorme. He's channeling his inner Paredes on that one. One away as, was that Schumann? Yeah, Schumann. Gotta reach my coffee. Oh, that's a little dangerous. Okay, I got it. Whew. All right. The cups that they give you here in the Net Cafe are really tiny. So I brought in my McDonald's coffee cup. Literally, you can make 2 cups of coffee in their machine, and they both fit in one McDonald's medium-sized cup. So, yeah. I'm intelligent, as my girl would say. Intelligent. First pitch is a half swing and a miss. 94 miles an hour. So far, Gusto having a good game, right? Through 2 1/3. Here's the next toss. A little far inside. 1-1. I'm going to have to start being a little shorter with my game previews because they're starting to copyright claim a lot more of my stuff when it goes more than 5 seconds. So I'm going to have to make these clips as short as possible. 1 ball, 2 strikes with that one. 1 hit for the A's, no runs so far. I'm happy with that work. Good job, Gusto. Pitch count up to 28. That one's outside. Even count. Guys, I'm trying to get to 500 subs. That's my goal over the next 2 weeks. By the end of the month, I want 500 subs. That's my desire. Help me out if you can. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. How about that? That's a swinging strikeout. According to my stats, Gusto has 2 strikeouts looking and 1 strikeout swinging. Man, I'm so comfortable in here. It's nice. It's nice and cool, the AC. Lawrence Butler's at the plate, takes that first pitch out of the zone for ball 1. Here's the next toss, guys. Right in there, swing and a foul ball at the plate. Looked like a curveball, and it was. You guys like my logo? My caricature for the A's? It's like an old washed up Greek athlete. Here comes the 1-1. Butler fouls that one off. Another curveball, 1-2. Old dog says, "Can I go home now?" Can you go home? 1-2 pitch on the way. Fouled off again. Count remains 1-2. For me and you, it's 1-2. Guillerme says Sergio has been showing some good defense at third base for the last 2 games in Isak's temporary absence. That's good. We need that. Can't have a bad glove at third. Here comes another 1-2. Fouled back again. Lawrence Butler being a butler. Tuck says Rockies won 2 in a row. The Rockies? Okay. Nice to see. Sergio says old dog. Keep wanting to say. I'm like, who's old dog? Oh yeah, bit dog. Here's the pitch. 1-2. Low and inside. 2-2 is the count, guys, against Butler with 2 outs, nobody on. Gusto trying to have a clean inning in the third. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Tap to the right side. Uh-oh, might be problems. Altuve bobbled it, and then when he tried to grab it with his hand and scoop it to first base, he mishandled it, so they might rule that an error on Altuve. Yeah, it's an error. It went under his glove and hit him in the leg. He literally completely missed that ball. The only reason he had a second chance at it is because it hit him in the leg. Bad mental error there by Altuve. Sad to see that. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. He got a home run, you know. He's got the only RBI in the game right now. That first pitch is in there for strike 1. 2-1, Mr. Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson. Butler on first base with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Wilson. That's another strike right in there. Good sinker. 0-2. My girlfriend that's not my girlfriend, she called me when she got back from Vietnam last night. Swing and a miss. Look at that. Another swinging strikeout. Gusto says, you know what? We don't need no stinking grounders. I'll just strike you out. So Gusto gets through 3, even though Altuve makes a little bit of a blunder, unfortunately, and gets the ground out, or causes the ground out to become an error, base runner. It's all good. Let's see here. What was the Twins logo? Win? Well, they put on that ridiculous Spartan helmet when they celebrate their home runs, but it's silly. All of those celebrations are silly. They put on the samurai helmet, and the funny thing is the Dodgers started doing that because of, not the Dodgers, the Angels started doing that because of Ohtani. Ohtani's not there anymore, and they still do the samurai hat celebration. I guess that's why they got Kikuchi, Yusei Kikuchi, because they needed a Japanese player in order to justify the samurai hat celebration. That's my guess. But it's stupid. The trident for the Mariners, the Spartan hat for the Twins, and all those other gimmicks that teams do. I am so glad that the Astros don't do that. Astros are a more professional style organization, and I prefer that style. To me, it's a timeless traditional style. That's what the Astros have. Timeless traditional style. Because doing something in a traditional way in itself is not a good reason to do something, because sometimes things that are done in a traditional way just don't fit anymore. They're out of style. But some things are timeless, like the Astros. Let's see here. Yankees lost 4 in a row. That's nice. Always happy when the Stankies lose, unless they're playing somebody that's threatening the Astros in the division. Next pitch is on the way. Is that Walker at the plate? Looks like it. Right in there for strike 1. Christian Walker with 1 fly out today. They say that he was playing well when he was with the Diamondbacks versus the Athletics. Let's see if he continues that here in this game. A little low and outside, ball 1. The count is even. 4 hits for the Stros this game, but only 1 run courtesy of Altuve. Altuve also with the only error in the game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Opposite field, foul ball. Strike 2. He took a cut at the cutter. But yeah, guys, the girlfriend that I have, who's also not my girlfriend at the same time, she's from Vietnam and she's in another city right now, but she went and spent a couple of days, 2 or 3 days with her family. She just came back last night. In the dirt, ball 2, 2-2. I had to get up early today, so I went to bed a little early. I went to bed like at 9 o'clock. At about 9:45, suddenly my phone started buzzing. I had a phone call. It was a video call on Facebook, and it was her. Grounded to the third base side. It's going to be through for a hit, guys. Christian Walker with a nice little tap, tap, tappy right through the hole on the left side. We have a base runner with no outs. Jake Myers comes to the plate. He has a nice line drive single today. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, my girlfriend, not girlfriend, says that, you know, she's not my girlfriend, but when she came back to Japan, she gave me a video call to let me know she was back home. What can you do with a girl like that? 1 ball, no strikes to Jake Myers. Spence comes set on the mound. Here's the next toss. That's hit a little tappy to the shortstop side, and they barely get the double play. Myers is fast, but unfortunately he was not able to outrun that one. I don't know why I put Tommy on the board there. Didn't mean to do that. I don't like that. Tommy no likey. Tommy no likey. Cam Smith is now at the plate with 2 outs. He lined out his last at bat. Swing at the first pitch. Strike 1. Excuse me. Next pitch on the way. Another swing and a miss on the slider. 0-2 with 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Cam Smith. Swing again. This time he fouls it off. The count stays 0-2. Sergio says for Gusto, today's game is a little personal. When LMJ was activated, Gusto was sent back to AAA after winning a game. Yeah, that's gotta suck. Hey, look at that. Rocketed out to left field all the way out to the wall right in the corner. That's fair. Cam Smith is easily going to get 2 out double. At least we have a runner in scoring position. Nice. Nice rip. Man, that was a terrible curveball. How did he get that? And it landed on the line, too. He he slowed down. He stopped running. What was that about? He wasn't sure it was going to be fair, so he slowed down. You run, man. You run. Don't do that. That's so amateur. Caratini grounds that to the second baseman on the very first pitch, and he grounds out for out number 3. So Astros strand a base runner on a really nice double by Cam Smith. But man, Cam Smith really let me down there because he hit that ball, re-rocketed it down the line, and he slowed down and stopped running on the way to first base because he wasn't sure it was going to be fair. But it literally landed on the line, so it was a fair ball. If he had been running his butt off, it might have been a triple. See, stuff like that really chaps me because if you did that like in high school and you're in a serious school that, I mean, not even necessarily a serious school, but if you're on a high school team and you run like that when you hit the ball and you're not sure if it's fair or not, you're going to get pulled out of the game. There's no way that they're going to keep you in the game. They're going to say, you got to learn your lesson. You run your butt off until we tell you it's foul. You run your butt off, right? And Cam Smith has a lot of speed. He might have been able to turn that into a triple if he had been running right out of the box. Why would you even stop? I don't get it. 23 people following along. Thank you for being here right now. 27 likes already at almost 30. That's great. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for being here. What's in the chat? Anything else in the chat? Let me open it up on the other screen so I can see it. Let's see here. Mark says, I had a few like that, Mr. Go. I'd prefer not to have any more relationships like that ever again. I like clarity. I like to be clear. Especially when it's obvious that everything that's happening in the relationship is pointing to one direction, but then you're told it's the opposite. That makes no sense to me. That shows me that the other person is emotionally immature. But here's the thing. I'm a firm believer that the vibe that you're putting out is what attracts that to you. So if I'm okay and I'm secure and I believe in myself and I know that I'm a loving person who deserves to be loved, if I really know that, like I really know that inside, and that's the vibe I'm putting out to the universe, then people like that can't exist in my life. Sergio says, that's how it used to be for me. I never referred to any of my girlfriends as my girlfriends either. Yeah, I can call her my girl, but that's about as far as I can go right now. Even if she considered herself my girlfriend, that's the only way I could call her my girlfriend. If she was like, yes, you're my boyfriend, you're mine, you belong to me, I belong to you. If she came out and said that, that would be different. But she's not emotionally able to do that for various reasons. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. A little low for ball 1. Tyler Soderstrom is at the plate. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the toss. That's hit high in play out to left field. Guillorme, did you see that? Did you see that diving catch by Guillorme? Look at Gusto. He's like, did you see that? Wow, he may have hurt himself on that. I thought that was going to drop. Holy cow. I thought for sure that was going to drop into left field, and Guillorme just contorted and dove at it and caught it at the last moment. Talk about a catch. That's got to be one of my favorites of the year right there. Look at that. Gusto. Gusto's like, oh my God, I don't believe that. Did you see that? Hey guys, did you actually see that? What an amazing catch by Guillorme. Beard power. Next batter's at the plate, takes it in the bottom of the zone. Man, that could have been a ball. That was so low. But strike 1 it is. Strike one it is to Mr. Brent Rooker. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Gusto. A little high and inside for ball one. 1-1. Predis' DH makes sense. Yeah, old dog, he's not in the field. That's right. It does make sense. I agree with it. It's a good call. Just let him bat. Let him take his time around the bases. You know what I'm saying? Here's the next pitch. Woof. Rooker takes a swing at that one. Is not able to touch it. The 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2 is the count with one out, nobody on. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Little low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Right in the bottom of the zone, baby. Got him looking. He's standing there like, that's not a strike. Yeah, Rooker is more of a looker. Yeah, they're trying to show that catch again. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. What an amazing catch. Hey, look at that. Strike one on that first pitch to Nick Kurtz. 0-1 with 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside. Nice curveball. Gusto looking really good. Some awesome help from the defense, except for that little boo-boo by Altuve. Really sad to see Altuve make that mistake. It was a relatively easy ground ball. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Kurtz. Fouled off. Count stays 0-2. All right, here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Oh, 2 is the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch. A little outside, just missed by a couple of inches. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's see here. I know I missed some comments in the chat. I think I move that up here. I might be able to see it if I put it up here. Man, the screen is going crazy. Oops. A little high. Ball 2, 2-2. Kurtz grounded out his last at bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the toss from Gusto. Swing and a miss. Got another swing and strikeout. Is that 5? 5 punch outs. And a great catch by Guillorme. Yeah, look at that. He held on to that ball after he came down. Look at him put his hand on his glove to hold that ball in there. That's pro right there. All right. Excellent, said the chicken. Okay. Now I can get caught up. I think you guys had some funny comments in the live chat I want to get to, but I couldn't see them while I was in the game there. Let's go back so I can check them out. Let's see what you had to say. All right. Yeah, we're talking about girlfriends, not girlfriends. That's right. Mark said, she said we were not together. Got my phone checking text would flip out if I talked to a female. Exactly. She didn't want me talking with anybody. She was suspicious if I was anywhere that I wasn't normally, or if I was too long or whatever. Um, Even when I went to see her, after she told me that we were not in a relationship and we couldn't be in a relationship, I was visiting her in Kagoshima City, where she was attending business school, and she told me that she would be out. She had school in the morning, she had work in the afternoon, and she would be out until like 5 or 6 o'clock at least. So, you know, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get a massage because I just I my blood flow is not good because of edema and anemia, you know. So I decided to go get a massage. And while I was out getting the massage, she wasn't supposed to be home for another couple of hours. And she started calling me. She just called me again and again and again and wanted to know where I was at, what I was doing, and who I was with. And it was like, wait a second, why do you care? Why do you care so much? You said we not only are we not in a relationship, we cannot be in a relationship, and you weren't planning to be in a relationship with me. She said all of those things, so it's crazy. Dubon is at the plate. He hits this one out to center field. Gonna be caught for out number one. One away. But anyway, yes, that's right. The nonsense. I really don't understand people who say stuff like that. Okay, next pitch is on the way. Who's at the plate? That would be Guillorme. That's a strike in there. Guillorme, a left-handed batter, man. If he could hit the ball, I wouldn't mind having him on the roster making defensive plays like that. He seems pretty solid. He fouls this one off. It looks like it's going to be just out of play. Man, the third baseman went barreling into the wall there. 0-2 is the count against Chef Guillorme. Guillorme Chef. Is Guillorme cooking up a Guillorme meal right now for us? 6 hits for the Astros, but only 1 run on the board. Here's the pitch. Hey, there we go. Get down, get down. Guillorme with a single, line drive. Nice solid strike to right field. All right. That's what I like to see. A guy coming through with a great defensive play, and then the very next inning he comes up to bat and just rips it into play. Keep hitting, man. I want you on this roster. I do. I want anybody on this roster who comes out there, makes great defensive plays, makes foundational defensive plays, and then strikes that ball into play. Jeremy Pena at the plate with 1 out and a runner on. Let's see what he can do outside. First thing he can do is take that bad pitch. Good job. Good job, Flash. Good job. Hey, Fred, welcome back. I finally made it back in, too. Thank goodness. Kurtz was curt about the strikeout. That's right, Sergio. I just noticed that. Here's a pitch. Hey, should let that one go, Flash. 1-1. The slider. That was a nice looking slider. Old Dog says if Guillorme were a few inches taller, I'd put him at first when Paredes makes it back. Why are they calling me? Hang on a second, guys. Uh, uh, ここは話します。OK ですね。OK ですか？ OK、はい。ありがとうございます。I think they're trying to tell me to not talk as loud. Can you believe that? They tell me, oh, you can't talk in this room. You have to go to the private room. And I go to the private room, and then they're telling me not to talk as loudly. Make up your freaking mind. I can talk or I can't. But don't tell me that I have to get a private room and then tell me I have to lower my talking. Here is the next pitch to Pena. It's a 2-2 count. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. I'm going to keep one of my headphones off my ear so that I can hear myself. I guess that just means I can't get very excited. try to keep it down. I'm not out at my Cominca, so I can't go crazy. Here's the next pitch. That's in the dirt, and Pena goes golfing, and he strikes out. Chasing again. Shadows of the past, my friend, shadows of the past. And with 2 outs, that brings up Isaac Paredes, who's in the DH position for the Stros today. They're now advertising the World Baseball Classic. Here comes the first pitch to Paredes. Little half swing foul ball there. A little check swing. Didn't mean to tap it with his bat, but he did. Strike 1. Yes, Sergio Guillorme is looking pretty awesome. Here's the next pitch to Paredes. A little low, almost in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 7th, Seattle is losing. Thank you for that update, old dog. I appreciate that. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Paredes. High and inside a little bit. 2 balls and 1 strike. I didn't get to see Paredes' first at bat, but from what I hear, he hit the ball really hard his first at bat. He also did that his last at bat, so he's putting the bat on the ball. We got a runner on first. Guillorme with his single with 2 outs. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Paredes. That was another hard hit ball, but foul. Back and into the stands on the right side. 7 hits for the Astros this game. If they continue this pace, they'll be at around 15 hits by the end of the game, but they only have 1 run on the board right now. Paredes asks for timeout. Astros are definitely getting guys on the base, just aren't moving them around yet. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Paredes. Way outside. That was a slider that almost turned into a Swiffer. Full count. Yes, old dog, the channel stats right now, that's correct. But you guys are also seeing my like. Here's the 3-2 pitch, fouled off. 90-mile-an-hour cutter. Altuve on deck, hoping he gets another opportunity to come to the plate against Spence. Speaking of Spence, here's his next delivery. Paredes fouls that one back too. 8 pitches so far. He has forced Spence to throw. Isn't it pretty wacky when they tell you have to go to a private room if you want to talk? And then I start talking, and then they tell me I have to be quiet? What kind of nonsense is that? Fouled off the mask of the catcher. That's pitch number 9. So there are going to be 10 pitches this at bat at the minimal. That's one of the things, guys, you don't understand until you live in Japan. Living in your own house out in the country, some people say it's inconvenient, but you know what? When you finally get a car and you're not close to your neighbors, it's so convenient. Ball 4. Look at that. He wanted that strike on that outside edge, but he didn't get it. Paredes gets a walk. 10 pitches. Spence had to work his butt off for that one. He's now up to 82 pitches. That's a lot. Pitching coach is going to come out and have a little chit chat with him. Coach, that homer by Altuve was really bothering me. Speaking of that homer by Altuve, there it is right there. Wow, 439 feet. That's his longest home run of the year. That is a blast. 439 feet. And then he There's that. Oh, that was low. I'm sorry. Not outside. I didn't see it when it was thrown. I thought it was outside. That's 2 runners on for Altuve. Two on with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. He goes after that first curveball, or a cutter rather. Fouls it off down the third base line. Man, how awesome would it be for Altuve to get a 3-run blast off of him? He's already got a 439 footer. That's insane. That's a huge blast. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He fouls that one to the third base side. They say it's fair. And they get him at first. What a beautiful throw all the way over to first. Altuve not able to beat it out simply because he hit it too hard to the third baseman. Too much defense in this game, not enough offense. Man, just barely beat him there. So we strand 2 more runners on base. Astros chalking up the hits, but not the runs. Who's on first? Sergio says it was wise to proceed with caution when it comes to Paredes. He's important to our success. I agree. I knew that his injury wasn't bad, but it makes sense that whenever he came back, they just put him in the DH spot and don't make him do all that extra running in the infield. It's a good move. That's right, King Tuck, 7 hits, 1 run, and that was a solo homer. That wasn't even a what you would call an earn it kind of run, you know. All right, what have we got going here? Gusto is back up on the mound in just a moment. He'll be facing Mike Muncy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of this inning, I will get up and go out and get some more coffee. Bottom of the 5th coming up in just a moment. Excuse me. Old Dog says, no matter what, I always ran my butt off to first base because it put pressure to make a quick and possible errant throw. Yeah, and I earned a lot of infield hits by running my butt off. Error or otherwise, I earned first base. Next pitch to Muncy, coming in just a moment. The count is 0-1. Here comes the toss. Way high, ball 1. Tommy, don't likey. I keep clicking the wrong buttons. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Gusto gets that one right in there. Sinker for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. '60th pitch of the game coming for Gusto. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt outside. The curveball kind of got away from him a little bit. 2-2. King Tuck says if Seattle loses, we end up losing. It'll be furious. Yeah, I'll be furious. That's right. I agree. Swinging a foul ball at the plate. The count remains 2-2. Sergio says, I know that it's only a 1-0 lead, but I do like that we have 7 hits. Yeah, I agree. It's nice that we have some hits on the board. I mean, at least we have 1 run. At the least. Foul back. Count remains 2-2. Tuck says always run to first and run through the bag. Absolutely. All the way. All the way. Just like when you punch somebody, right? You don't punch at the chest. You punch at their back. Just a little off the plate. Ball 3. Full count. Like if you try to break a board when you're trying to break a board with karate or taekwondo or something like that, you don't punch the board, you punch through the board, right? You aim behind the board. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3, swing and a miss on the inside. 7 strikeouts, and guess what? That is a career high tie for Gusto. I bet you he's going to pass his career high of strikeouts today. He only needs one more. Muncy couldn't figure that one out. 94 miles an hour. One away, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Max Muncy is out. It is now Blade, JJ Blade. I forgot this one right here. Tommy Likey. Tommy wants swingy. That's right. Here comes the next pitch to Blade. A little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tuck says Pete Rose used to run to first when he got a walk. Yeah, you never know. I've seen some people do that and then immediately take second because nobody was covering second. You never know, you know. Next ball is in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1. More likes, guys. That would be nice. We did get to 30, so thank you very much for that. I am trying to get to 500 subs. I would really like to get there by the end of June. That would be awesome. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt, 3 balls and 1 strike. Don't see that very often with Gusto. First time today he's had a 3-1 count, actually. Ace of Water says cheers, back for another game. Thanks, Ace. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you. 3 balls and 1 strike to Blade. Here's the pitch from Gusto, right in there, and he fouls it up. Is it going to be in play or out of play? Nope, goes into the crowd. Full count. JJ Blade. And the count is 3-2. I didn't have time to change the thumbnail for the game from McCullers to Gusto, but everything else is updated. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That's hit really hard to right field. Might be gone. It's all the way to the wall, and it is. It's into the bullpen, the Astros bullpen. Blade gets a home run on a full count pitch. His 8th home run this year. That ties the game. So much for the lead, guys. We are now tied with the A's. 1-1. They have 2 hits. 94 mile per hour fastball right in the zone. Should have given him a breaking ball there. He threw a fastball right down the middle and he got burned. 1 out, nobody on. The first pitch to Willie is out into the crowd on the right side. Willie, is his name MacGyver? Are you serious? It's not like MacGyver, but MacGyver. That's pretty close. That's funny. 1-1. The game is tied. So much for that lead. Here's the pitch. This one's hit out into right field. That's pretty deep. No, it's not. It's going to drop. I thought that was deep. Apparently it was a little too soft. Wasn't hit quite as hard as I thought it was, but that's a single. Back-to-back hits, a homer and then a single. The A's suddenly hitting Gusto. That's the 3rd hit of the game for the A's. The 2nd and 3rd hit of the game coming at the same time, just back-to-back like that. Fox at Bat says good night, good day. Same to you. Thank you for being here. Max Schumann comes to the plate with 1 runner on, 1 out. First pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1. Saw the Cam walk-off the other night. Says Ace missed Dubon's walk-off. Yeah, they were awesome. A 9th inning walk-off and then a 10th inning walk-off. That was great. There's the pitch. Fouled off. The sinker. Just barely managing to get by. 1 ball, 1 strike. 74 pitches now for Gusto. 39 people following along and 31 likes. Give me a like on the live stream if you have the opportunity to do so. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He shows bunt and pulls back. Did he pull back soon enough? They go to first base and they say he did pull back. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't think it's worth bunting a guy over when you have 1 out. Guy on first base. That's another 3-1 count right there. That one misses. These balls aren't too far out of the zone. They just aren't close enough to be strikes or to be luring, I guess you could say. Competitive. 3 balls and 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. Schumann at the plate facing Gusto. Here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a nice pitch. That's what should have been thrown on that 3-2 earlier. That turned into a home run. Should have been a pitch with a lot of movement like that one. Here's another 3-2 count. This time on Schumann. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. The runner goes and they throw it into center field, and now he's going to run to third base. Why would you throw that? I'm really kind of confused. Caratini just throws a terrible ball to second base, but it didn't make any sense why he would do that since it was a walk. That was a walk, and he throws a crazy throw. See, that's clearly a ball 4, and look at him. He just throws a terrible throw to second base, and it goes into center field, and that lets the runner get over to third. He's like, oh, okay, I can go. Pitching coach is going to come out and talk to Gusto now. He finally comes out at the right time to talk to Gusto. Caratini, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Ball 4. He throws it from his knees out into center field. Are you kidding me? Runners on the corners with 1 out. Lawrence Butler comes to the plate, and Stephen Okert is now warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. How many pitches for Gusto now? That's 78. Yeah, he's starting to get up there, but if you got a double play right here, you could feasibly come out and pitch the 6th. Butler at the plate. First pitch to him on the way in just a moment. Here comes the toss. Fouled off. The changeup getting the strike. 0-1. Arrighetti isn't expected back until mid to late July. It'd be nice to have him back. Little high. Ball 1, 1-1. Arrighetti isn't elite yet, but he's knocking at the door of it. He works out some of his kinks. He could be a really solid pitcher for the Astros. Definitely one of the main starters, right? At least how he was pitching before. Gusto throws over to first. Runner's back. Yeah, Batman was on his knees and threw a curveball, not a 3-finger. That's right. He went to the wrong item on his utility belt, apparently. He's the Batman, not the throw man. Wow, that was ripped down the line, but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ace says after the All-Star break, we'll get another ace to relieve Gordon or King. It'd be nice to have another really good guy for the rotation, a really good solid guy in the rotation. Astros used to just need bats. Now we need a little extra help in pitching. It's ridiculous. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. He kind of threw the bat out there on that 89-mile-per-hour changeup. That would have been a ball, but he was fooled by it. 1-2 strikes. The count remains. Let's see here. Old Dog says double play, guys. I hope so. Ace says you were a catcher, right, Brandon? No, I say no, but I caught for one pitcher. But that was because I was the only guy who could actually catch the fastball. Foul tip, but Caratini couldn't hang on to it. So we don't get the strikeout. You can see here it bounces out of his glove. He almost had it. Caratini letting me down this inning. Come on, Batman. 1-2 strikes. We're going to have another pitch to Butler. Ace, I wanted to say something about that question or that statement, but I'll get to it in a minute. Another foul ball by Butler. Ace, we had one pitcher in high school who had a decent fastball. It wasn't really fast, but the catcher mitt was not something that anybody on my team could use very well. I didn't think it was a big deal, so I could catch him easily. So every time he pitched, I had to catch, and I hated it because I hate catching. But so yeah, I caught for him, but that was it. Otherwise, I played second base. Fouled off again, Butler. I need to cough. All right. One nice strong cough to clear the throat. Sergio says there's talk that we might see. Oh, strike three. There we go. That was a nice changeup. Butler goes down swinging for strike three. We have two away. Runners on the corners and now 2 outs. Beautiful. Look at that. The bottom fell out of that changeup. Wow, look at that. And that is the career high in strikeouts for Gusto. 8 strikeouts so far. Runners on first and third with 2 outs. First pitch on the way. Next batter hits it up the middle. Altuve's got it. He fires over to first. Thank you, goodness gracious. Altuve's got it. Whew. He got into the old-timey jam, but he got out of it. He made some toast and spread it real thick. So he gets out of the Gordon old-timey jam. I love that picture. That's funny. It's good stuff. Let's see here. Let's go back and check the live chat right quick. I want to see. I think I missed a couple of comments that I want to get to. But yeah, let's take a look. Oh, I want to get some more coffee too. I'll be right back. I'll get some coffee. Yeah, Ace says I'm new to the stream. Yeah, it's okay. No big deal. But yeah, I did catch for the one pitcher because I was the only one who could catch the fastball with the glove without it bouncing out. I didn't understand why nobody else had the ability to do that, but the coach made me catch that one pitcher, and I hated it. But I was a second baseman. Sergio says we might see Max Schumann in an Astros uniform. You never know. I would believe anything. Old Dog says we need a pitcher like my favorite Larry Dierker. I liked him as a color guy in the booth and as a manager. We still selling jam? Oh yeah. We still have the jam going on sometimes. You got some Gordon jam the other day. I was gonna go get some coffee, guys, but I was trying to catch up on the comments, and the game is already back to the top of the 6th. So I'll just wait on that coffee. I'll get it after the Astros bat. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss any of these pitches. Christian Walker is due up for the Astros in just a moment. Jason Alexander signed as an undrafted free agent with the Angels in 2017, claimed off waivers. All right, well. Wow, Walker takes that first pitch below the zone, and the umpire says strike one. What? Okay. Do we have a new pitcher? Yeah, we do. We have a new pitcher. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's also below the zone, but Walker decides to go after it since the ump is going to call it a strike anyway. Swing and a miss. 0-2 is the count. Who is this? Spence is out of the game. This is JT Ginn, or is it Jin? JT Ginn. Next pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Walker. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside. Good take by Walker. 2-2. Umps get worse every year. Sometimes it seems that way. We do have a few quality umps, but unfortunately, they're not like that across the board. Swing and a miss. Walker becomes striker. Christian Striker goes down. First out for the Astros this inning. Trading View says the batting stats for the Stros. Not sure if they were there. They're not working right now. I've been trying to get the API fixed. It's not pulling the figures for some reason. I haven't been able to figure out why, so I'll keep working on it. I promise I'll get it worked out eventually. But thank you for pointing it out, just in case. You never know. Sometimes I'm not aware of that. Myers is at the plate. Fouls off the second pitch, and that evens the count 1-1. Fred says Walker is a strikeout machine. Yes, he is. Walker and Melton are in a competition to see who can strike out the most. Percentage-wise, Melton is winning, but number-wise, Walker's winning because he's had more plate appearances. Low and inside to Myers, and that's ball 2, 2-1. Okert is still warming up in the bullpen for the Strizos. Walker's walking back to the dugout. That's why he's called Walker, because he's always walking back to the dugout. Foul tip, strike 2 on the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The guy that I bought the refrigerator from, he was really nice. Yeah, I picked it up in my minivan, and we had to slide it in on its back, He was a little surprised that I wasn't going to be carrying it straight up and down, because that's how you're supposed to normally move them. But if you lay them down on the back, then the compressor unit inside, you have to not plug it in after, you have to get it like 5 hours of standing straight up before you plug it in. Did you know that? Well, luckily I knew that. In the dirt. 3-2 against Jake Myers, the full count with 1 out, nobody on. But anyway, I already knew that, but whenever I was just about to get in my van to drive away, the guy came running back over to me to remind me, make sure you stand it up for a few hours before you plug it in. He was really nice. Well, I'm not sure about that pitch. Myers is actually arguing at the plate. Myers never gets upset. Espada comes out. The batting coach comes out. And they're laughing. They're like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. They're talking about the call. But I want to see that replay. But Myers got really angry about that. Never see Myers get angry. They call this a strike. It was close. But you can't argue with that. Look how close this was. I mean, yeah, that's too close to argue. Too close to argue like that. Come on, Myers. You're better than that. I mean, he must be in a bad mood today. First pitch to Cam Smith is in there for a strike. Man, you never see Myers get upset like that. 0-1 to Cam Smith. 2 outs and nobody on. Here comes the toss. Oof. Slider. Outside. Swing and a miss. 0-2 just like that. Fred says, your compressor information, great to know. Yeah, if you ever move a fridge and lie it down on its back, whenever you stand it up, you need to let it stand up for a few hours before you plug it in. You could damage the compressor. Something to do with the oil inside or something. Cam fouls that one off. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, 32 likes. That's right, Sergio. 42 people. Yeah, we've got a 10. Ooh, almost hit him in the leg there. Ball 1. 1-2. We got a 10 like discrepancy. 42 people. No, 49. Holy cow, it just jumped up. 49 people following along right now, but only 31 likes. Hook me up on the like on the live stream, guys. Here comes the 1-2 count to Cam Smith. Grounds it to short. Fires over to first. And that's it for the Astros. And the top the 6th. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Okert running onto the field. He'll be the next pitcher for the Stros. And I'm going to run out here and grab myself another cup of coffee. I'll be right back, guys. Until I get back, all I have to say is, Go Stros. Whew, good grief, guys. I didn't realize that. All the drinks, the drink bar, the coffee, everything is on the second floor. I had to go downstairs. Whew, man. That's not easy to do with anemia. Go down such a long flight of stairs and then back up that fast. Whew. Whew. Okert is on the mound. Let's see what's going on here. Who's at the plate? Soderstrom takes that one outside. Full count. I can't believe I didn't miss anything other than just the full count. Wow. Phew. All right, guys. But you know, actually, I feel pretty good that it didn't destroy me. I used to not be able to do that. Swing and a miss. He gets a strikeout. A little fried Okert served up on the very first batter. How about that? I need to make me an anime image for fried Okert. Yeah, Tommy wants swingy. First pitch delivered to Rooker is a strike. 0-1 is the count from Okert. Here's the next toss. Fouled off, 0-2. They were showing Altuve pointing earlier, and they were speculating as to maybe that was the reason why Spence threw at his face and that next at bat. He got a warning from the umps. Here's the next pitch to Rooker. Ooh, hit hard to left field, but it dies. Whew. Luckily, Rooker hit it off the end of the bat, not the fat part. Man, that could have been gone. But from a dangerous hit to a good pitch, just like that. Next batter at the plate is Nick Kurtz. Kurtz. Oh, guys. Woo. Man. The screens are very far away from me, by the way. I want to be closer, but it's a little difficult the way things are set up in here. There's the first pitch to Kurtz. Ball one. 1-0 pitch on the way from Okert. Swing and a miss. Nice toss. The slider dropping in there. Couldn't get the bat on it. 1-1 strike with 2 outs. Batter steps out of the box to take a timeout. Okert will reset. Bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch with 2 outs. This one's hit into left field. Should be playable. DeBon is right there. Puts it away for out number 3. How about that? 3 up and 3 down for Fried Okert. This is a park that Okert knows. Seems he feels quite comfortable here. Let me see what I missed in the chat while I was gone. I'm sure I missed something. Let's go back and take a look. Yeah, thank you, Sergio. Take time to hit that like button. 36 people right now, 32 likes. Gotta swing the bat, Jake. I want my MTV. Yeah. Myers is normally a well-mannered player. Yeah, that was rare, Fred. I agree. Tuck says Myers can hit when we're doing good, but he definitely is not clutch. Yeah, Myers is having a phenomenal year. He's having a standout year, but he's definitely not Mr. Clutch. Now, sometimes he comes through, but he's definitely not somebody I would associate with being a clutch player. If Myers is hot, and you need somebody clutch to win the game. And Altuve has been cold, and you can choose which batter you want. I would choose Altuve 100% of the time because he's been in that moment. He's definitely a more clutch hitter than Myers. Myers wants to be today's hero. I like that. Yeah, well, if he's putting some emotion into it, it's fine. It's fine, but better to be calm and focus on business. Gotta move these refrigerators. Yeah, that's right. My color TV is at home. Mariners and Red Sox are still tied 2-0, 2-0 in the bottom of the eighth. Or you mean 2-2? Ninth inning at Seattle, they're still losing 2-0. Good. All right, we're back to the game. First pitch comes in to the Batman, Victor Caratini. 1-0. 1-0. Oops. I forgot that I don't have my one ear off. I don't want to talk too loud and get them calling me again. Here's the next pitch to Caratini. Hey, look at that. The Batman gets a single. He rips it right through the hole between the first and second baseman. So we have a leadoff base runner in the 7th inning. It might be an Astros 7th. Welcome to Geaux Stros, where it's all Astros all the time. Should I call the game like this, guys? Thank you for being here. We are in the top of the 7th inning here at Sutter Health Park. Mauricio Dubon is at the plate, facing Ginn. That first pitch taken for ball 1. Dubon is 1 for 2 today. 20 pitches coming just a moment from Ginn. Caratini on first base after a single to lead off the inning. No outs. Here's the pitch to Dubon. Low in the dirt. Dubon takes that for ball 2. Good plate discipline shown right now by Dubon. Normally swinging on the first pitch, showing a little bit of plate discipline at the moment. If I speak like that, you guys will go asleep. Old Dog says sounds like a golf tournament. That's right. Here's the pitch. He hits that one high in the air. That's probably going to be playable, and it is by the shortstop. Caratini stays at first, out number 1. I could do that, Old Dog. Dubon flies out on that one. He's going to go back to the dugout. Right now we're going to take a look at some highlights from earlier in today's match of Guillorme making a couple of excellent plays over at third base, picking up a grounder with his bare hand, firing it over to first base, and then making the excellent play in left field, the diving fly ball catch. Now Guillorme is at the plate again today. He's 1 for 2 at the plate with a nice line drive single. If I speak like that, guys, will you fall asleep? A friend of mine tells me that my voice makes him fall asleep if he listens to my voice messages. Ball goes over to first, but Caratini is definitely no threat to be stealing, so that was just a pitch reset, basically. Clock reset, pitch clock reset. I'll get it right. Here comes the next pitch, or the first, next pitch to Guillorme. Hit up the middle. That's going to be an easy double play, unassisted double play. Guillorme, unfortunately, even though he put the bat on the ball, there was somebody right there. I remember when we played in school, everybody played the traditional spots on the field, right? That would have been a hit for sure. But there was somebody playing right there. The shortstop was playing basically right behind the bag, and the second baseman is playing between first and second. They pull everybody over on that side just in case that happens, and it did, and that's why they play like that, right? Let's take a look at the live chat here. Casey says, cheers, guys. Thank you, Casey, for coming back. It's nice to see you again. Yes, it is another close game indeed. Golf Channel, that's right. That's how they expect me to talk here. Casey, I don't know if you were here earlier, you were listening in, but I'm in a net cafe right now because I had to pick up a refrigerator earlier. So I came to Hiroshima City early, set up my computer, and then got the live stream going, went to get my fridge, came back, and then they told me the room that I was in, they said you can't talk in that room, you have to get a private room. And I thought, okay, well, I tried to get a private room, but I wasn't given the option of a private room. And they said, well, you have to change. And I said, is there actually a private room? And they said, yes. And so I said, okay. So I went ahead and changed. I took all my stuff, unhooked everything, went and changed to this room. Came in here, as you can see, there's a door, there's walls, there's a roof. It's a completely closed in private room with a chair. I came in here, started calling the game, and within 5 minutes, basically, if you go back and watch the video, you'll see there's a phone up here on the wall, right up here. And they called me and asked me not to be so loud. And I said, wait a second. And I asked them in Japanese, can I talk in this room? Can I talk in here? And they said yes. And I just said, okay. And then I hung up the phone. But that's the thing I was going to say about being in Japan, guys, is that you got to get used to that. There's no space in Japan, and there's no privacy. That's why they have the love hotels. You know, if you want to be alone with your girlfriend or your wife or something, you really have to go to a place like a hotel if you want to have some privacy alone, because it's hard to get otherwise. Dubin, is it Dubin that's on? Oh, that's Ogert. No, it's not Ogert. That looks like yeah, it's Dubin on the mound. Very first pitch, he gives up a hit. The information on the screen said Ogert, but it looked like Dubin to me, and I was right. It was Dubin. It is Dubin. Oh, I forgot to change the image on the screen. The A's, the no-home A's, the homeless A's have a runner on with no outs, leadoff runner. Just below the zone, ball 1. JJ Bleday at the plate with a runner on. Fouls this one off for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. King Tuck says, do you speak Japanese? はい、そうです。でもまだ上手じゃありません。今、私の日本語はまあまあと思います。でも私の日本人の友達はブランドの日本語は上手です。Hey, this could be a double play from Guillorme, and it is. Look at that. That was ripped over to Guillorme. He fired it to, was it Pena covering? Was it Pena that covered second base? Yeah, it was Pena covering. From Guillorme to Pena. Heck yes. A 3. There we go. Nice. Double play. Erases the base runners. Next pitch for Dubin. Half swing in the dirt there. Speaking of golf, guys. Ooh. I can call that one like a golf one. That was McIver. Willie McIver takes the first swipe to get that one out of the sand trap. Unfortunately, he is unable to do so. He strikes at it. This one's hit up the middle. Pena picks it up, fires it over. Out number 3. Check it out. So Dubin gives up the hit, but works around it with a double and a ground out. This game is still tied up 1-1. We go into the 8th inning. I didn't expect to see 1-1 in the 8th inning. Can you believe that? 1-1 in the 8th inning versus the A's. We have 1 run on the board thanks to Altuve's solo homer. That's it. The A's have a run on the board thanks to a solo homer. That's the kind of game it's been. 8 hits for the Astros and 2 freaking errors. No errors for the A's. What a crock of nonsense. Let's take a look at the chats here. Cut that out, Dave Coulier. Cut that out. Cut it out. Oh, geez, rules. Yeah, rules suck. Called you on the bat phone. That's so Japan for you. That's right. If you guys ever do karaoke in Japan, they have a phone in the room, and like 5 minutes before your time is up, they will call you to let you know that your time is almost up. Because if you go over your time, then you have to pay more money. So they give you the 5 minutes to finish and go pay. Let's see here. Jordan says, you could have went all Johnny Somali on there. Johnny Somali. Yes, that's right, Jordan. I'll try that next time. I'll live stream with my phone.
Hey guys, I'm in Japan and they just told me that I can't be loud in here, even though they told me before I could be talking and be loud, and now they're telling me I can't. I'm gonna go down there right now to the desk and yell at them, make a fool of myself.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Casey says Hayashi Hashito Ryu as a kid. Oh, really? Great place, Luis Guillaume. Giving up on that joke. Jordan says giving up on that joke. That's pretty funny. I liked it. Johnny Somali joke was pretty funny. How long did it take to learn it? Well, we'll talk right now. I'm just an intermediate speaker, just so. First pitch was a ball to Pena. Pena is leading off the Astros this inning. Second pitch is a ball, 2-0. They've still got Ginn on the mound, and they've got a bullpen guy, a couple of bullpen guys warming up for the A's. That one's in there, 94 miles an hour, 2-1. Pena needs to get it going this game. He hasn't done anything. Come on, Pena. We need you, Flash. We need you. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Not like that. A hack. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With that swing and a miss on Pena. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. Pena strikes out a second time. Man, he's walking to the dugout like Walker. Man. Isak the ball, Paredes. How great would it be for Paredes to do something big right here? Very bottom part of the zone on that slider. Strike 1. Sergio says my magic 8-ball says that it's very likely. Wow. Right at the knees. Strike 2. A sinker. Paredes down in the count. 0-2. Neither one of those pitches really good to be swinging at. Let's see if he gets something better here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Ginn. Outside, ball 1. At least it was clearly out of the zone. 38 people following and listening along. Thank you for being here if I haven't said so recently. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subs. Here's the pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Paredes. 1 away after Pena's strikeout here in the top of the 8th. Astros locked in a 1-1 battle with the powerhouse A's. Here comes the 1-1 or 2-2 rather to Paredes. And he goes down looking. Yeah, that's not good. You got to swing at that. That was right in there. Beautiful pitch. Dead center of the zone, no doubt. Got to swing at that. 2 strikeouts in a row. 1 swinging on a garbage pitch by Pena. And 1 looking by Paredes. But that brings up my favorite player of all time in any sport. And that says something because I was a big Jordan fan. But Jordan and Altuve has completely different personalities. Here's the pitch to Altuve. Takes it outside for ball one. The only Astro with an RBI today. Jose Altuve with an RBI today. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's in there. A sinker for strike one. Man, there are a lot of really rude people yelling some BS out at Altuve right now. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Right in there. Such hateful people. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brian King is warming up in the Astros bullpen right now. Come on, Altuve. Jack another one out, man. He swings and misses. One thing I can't stand is to hear in my headphones, I'm hearing some people yell some very horrible things to Altuve while he's at the plate. Just garbage. People living as garbage people. Literally living as garbage people. Yelling out horrible things to Altuve. That's the main reason I want him to just jack out homer after homer after homer. I want those people to go home sore, rethink their lives. What is wrong with people? Seriously. Why? Why do people choose to exist in such negative states? So disappointing. So disappointing. Pena, you wingnut. Casey says Pena led 2023 in infield hits. Yep. That strikeout by Pena was Walker-like. Yes, it was, Fred. Well, no. I will say this. That pitch was a terrible pitch. So that's a Pena-like strikeout. Because Pena has, like, in the past, and a little bit this year, struck out on really bad pitches. But typically, when Walker strikes out, he strikes out on pitches that are around the zone. Walker doesn't typically chase really bad pitches like that. Not typically. He usually strikes out on things that he should hit. So that's the difference between him and Pena. Like Diaz, when Diaz strikes out, it's usually on a terrible pitch. He's a chaser. Walker isn't much of a chaser. He actually takes a lot of pitches. Colin says, I hope Astros win. Me too. Way to go, Sox. Good job, Sox. I don't like the Sox, but when they're playing the right team, I'll root for them. Ace says, what else the Ace fans got when their team sucks? You're right. What else can they do except be jerks? That's all they got. All right. Brian King is on the mound. Are you kidding me? Did he hit the first batter? He hit the first batter on the foot. Max Schumann gets hit on the foot. If Schumann does become a teammate, they're going to have a little discussion about that. He's going to be like, hey, you remember when you hit me on the foot? Oh, it's on the leg. You remember when you hit me on the leg? Yeah, I remember that. That hurt me for days. I couldn't run straight. Leadoff batter on base because of a hit by pitch. Where's my Brian King logo? There it is. Next pitch to Lawrence Butler. Butler is 0 for 3 today, but he did reach on an error. That first pitch is a strike. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. High fastball up and in. 0-2. Got Butler down in the count. Come on, King. Pull out the magnum. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. All right. 3-pitch strikeout on Lawrence Butler. Butler's 0 for 4 today. He only reached because of an error earlier. One away. Great pitch by King there on that outside upper corner. Late swing by Butler. Yep. Tommy likey, Tommy wants swingy. One ball on that first pitch to Jacob Wilson. One away, a runner on first. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off on that four-seam fastball. 1-1 is the count. Tuck says they're going to waste an M's loss. I sure hope not. Fred says Astros have been very good in close games this year. They've gotten better. I'll say that. They've gotten better. Fouled off for strike 2. 1-2 is the count against Jacob Wilson. Sergio says Altuve is the most hated man in baseball because he's 5'6". He defies all the logic ML players have. Yeah, if Altuve were Aaron Judge and everything else was the same, there would be absolutely zero hatred against him. Zero. And you know what? He hasn't done anything wrong. He was connected to some players who did some things wrong and a coach who allowed some wrong things. Here's a 1-2 pitch. This is hit high in the air. Might be playable in shallow right. Oh, it's going to drop. Smith is going to try to get the out at second base, and he does. Schumann wasn't able to figure out if that was going to drop or not, so he waited to run. So luckily, even though it dropped, yeah, Cam could have dove at that. I don't know why he didn't try to catch that. It seemed like he could have gotten over there in plenty of time with Cam Smith's speed. Didn't it seem to you? If you look at the replay there, it looks like he had plenty of time to dive for it and catch it. Luckily, he was able to pick it up and throw it to second to get the out, but my gosh, it seemed like he had time to make a play. Next batter takes a swing and a foul tip miss. Tyler Soderstrom is at the plate. 0 for 3 today. 2 outs, runner on first. Here comes the next pitch from King. Fouled off again. 0-2 is the count. Everyone but Altuve cheated that season. You're right. It's clear that he didn't, too. He refused to cheat. There's tons of evidence. Even his teammates say he didn't. Everyone knows he didn't. It's just that these people who are living in negative states, these really garbage people, they're the ones that hate on Altuve. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's hit hard to right field. Looks like it's going to be down. Cam Smith brings the ball in. He's going to try to go to third. Here's the throw. Throws too late. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there. Soderstrom is able to go to second base on that throw to third from Cam Smith. They might be reviewing that second base tag. So there's a rocket to right field. Cam Smith makes the throw to third. The Astros are going to challenge the safe call at second base. He was called safe, but it looks like they might have gotten him. That was messed up there. Cam Smith threw to third. The base runner there was safe. And then they threw it to second. They put the tag. Pena put the tag on him. Altuve thought he was out. So they took a look at it. Now they're going to review it to see if he's safe at second. Kind of hard to see from that angle. I don't know why Pena didn't keep the glove on him. Look at this. The guy at third, on third base, he tried to make it look like he was getting. Look at that, the call's overturned. They say the runner came off the base and the glove was on him, so he's out. Out number 3. That's right. Huge out there, guys. Yep. Pena luckily had his glove on him at the time he came off the base. Yeah, Tommy Likey indeed. That was pretty messed up though, because Pena didn't really stay with the play very long. But Altuve was the one that said, hey, he came off the base, we need to check that. And so Espada pulled it up, and then they said, yes, we want a challenge, and it came out in the Astros' favor. So he's out. But I think it was Soderstrom over on third base. After he got to third base and the throw went to second, he came off third like he was going to try to run home, and he deliberately ran into Guillorme to make it look like obstruction. What a turd. People trying to fool the umpires in order to score runs. What is with people? Sportsmanship, you know? Come on, have some sportsmanship. If you're going to score a run, it should be legitimate. You shouldn't be trying to score runs off lies, you know? Soderstrom right there, when players do stuff like that, they should get a suspension. When you are caught purposefully trying to fake something like that and make it look like you were obstructed when you weren't, you deliberately run into a guy and grab him and make it look like, oh my gosh, it's obstruction, and you're caught on camera lying, you should be suspended and fined, because they're getting paid a lot of money. You can't play the game like that. You know, there are certain personality types in the world that have no problem lying and cheating to get ahead. And we have to be careful about those people. They have to be punished. They have to learn. Even if they don't like it, they got to learn to play by the rules. Exactly, Fred. Soderstrom faking infraction. Very much so. Just like the NBA. Absolutely. It looks like the A's have a new pitcher on the mound. Walker's at the plate. He is not able to check his swing on that one. Strike one. Who is the pitcher? Mason Miller. I gotta type his name in. Mason Miller. There we go. Walker takes that one on the outside edge. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Walker. We're in the top of the 9th. Astros are going to have to score right here if they don't want to get walked off. Here's the pitch. Way outside. 2-2. 101 miles an hour on that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Walker. Here comes the toss. On that outside edge, strike 3. Walker takes it. Walker didn't like it. He's griping at the umpire, but what is with the Astros complaining today? What are they complaining about? These pitches are not out of the zone. It was on the edge of the zone. If it's close, you got to swing, bro. Why is he complaining about that? Look at that. Well, next batter is Myers. He grounds it straight at the third baseman. High throw. But he's able to grab it and come down and tag him. Maybe Myers could have slid right there. One of the few times that it would be good to slide. Cam Smith comes to the plate with 2 outs. So just like that, 2 up and 2 down. A strikeout and a ground out. We're down to our last out. We risk getting walked off by the A's after walking off the Twins twice in a row. Here comes the first pitch to Smith. Swing and a miss, 100 miles an hour. There was a foul tip there. 0-1 is the count. Sergio says, let's punish these fools for their shenanigans. I sure hope so. And guys, you can't hear it right now, but this crowd, they are yelling some BS. They are trash. Maybe this is why this team has no home, because they have trash fans. I hate to say it, but they have a lot of garbage fans in the stands right now. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Smith. Who's warming up for the Astros? Looks like Abreu. Brian Abreu is in the bullpen right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Smith. Swing and a miss on the outside. 1, 2, 3. 3 up and 3 down for the A's. Nothing doing for the Astros. Astros had like 7 hits in the first few innings. Now they have only 8. They haven't really done anything at all. First inning, Altuve hit a homer, and then they had a few more hits in the next few innings, but after that they've done literally nothing. The A's with a chance to walk it off against the Stros. Can you imagine getting walked off by the A's after walking off the Twins 2 games in a row? How terrible would that be? Come on. Why are we threatening getting walked off and going into extra innings with the they're not even Oakland. They're the homeless A's. The homeless A's. 39 people following right now and 35 likes. Thanks for being here. If you have the opportunity, please like the live stream. Let me take a look at the live stream chat and see what's going on, if I missed anything. Yeah, Gusto had a great performance, Sergio. You're right. We don't need to waste these good pitching outings. We need to score at least a few runs. He'd be a flopper in the NBA for sure, Fred. We're talking about Soderstrom. Sergio says, let's punish. Yes. Where's our punisher? We need a Frank Castle. Wouldn't it be funny if the Astros had a pinch hitter by the name of Frank Castle? Big dude, big muscles, came up to the plate, crushed it out of the park. That'd be great. Don't lose favor with the umpire by griping at him. It's only the first game of the series. That's true. And especially when it's right on the edge of the plate, and those are both strikes. I'm not arguing with those. I'm not with the Stros on those. I don't even know why Jake Myers got so upset. Those are clearly on the edge of the zone. This Astros lineup is trash. Well, I wouldn't say it's trash. We've had hits. We just haven't moved anybody in. But we've also had to bring in a lot of new guys, man. So I can give them a little bit of a break here. Should I sell my parlay already? I think the Astros will lose it. But I don't bet. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your bets. King Tuck says, "Screw this. These clowns forgot how to hit." They're definitely not hitting today. Definitely not hitting today. First batter is at the plate. He fouled the first pitch off. This is Brent Rooker. Takes the next pitch outside for ball 1. The count is even, 1-1 against Brian Abreu. Okay, I got caught up on all the comments, so that's nice. 1-1. Here's the pitch, low and outside. I'm getting kind of tired of listening to the audio of this game because the A's fans in the crowd, they are constantly yelling garbage. It just doesn't stop. Here's the next pitch. Low and outside. 3-1. Their language is atrocious. This is worse than listening to the Yankees fans. Seriously. Here comes the next pitch. Low, ball 4. The slider several inches below the zone. It was a good pitch for maybe a 2-1 pitch, but not a 3-1 pitch. You got to at least put it in the zone for strike 3. Rooker goes to first. No outs, runner on first. Nick Kurtz comes to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. First pitch from Abreu on the way. Low and inside, another ball. 5 balls from Abreu and just 1 strike. Come on, Abreu. Where's the fastball, man? Put some strikes in there. Good grief. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball, but it was not a strike. Low and inside, another ball. 6 balls thrown by Abreu and 1 strike. This count is 2-0 against Nick Kurtz. That's going to draw a mound visit by Josh Miller and Victor Caratini. A well-timed mound visit after a walk and a 2-0 count. Go ahead and jump on top of that. Jump on top of that. Finally, Josh Miller comes out right on time. Sergio says we seem to always play down to under 500 teams. Yeah, we play up and we play down. And to the mediocre teams, we play mediocre. It's weird, isn't it? King Tuck says, good night, fellas. I don't have the heart to see the rest of this garbage. It's not garbage yet. It's just a tough game. But if you need it to sleep well, you know, just go ahead and sleep and you can take a look at the score tomorrow. Have a good rest. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Half swing, strike 1. That was a dirty pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike to Kurtz. Kurt Kurtz. Fred says probably can hear the fans very clear being it's a small minor league stadium. You're right. That's probably why. This is hit really hard. It's gone. He throws the bat. Kurtz walks it off with a homer. King Tuck, if you're still here, man, you know, there you go. You don't have to worry about whether or not to find out if the Astros won. They get walked off on a 2-run homer. Kurtz threw the bat. He threw the bat towards the dugout of the Astros, looks like. No, he didn't. He threw it to the other side. Okay. Yeah, that's garbage. Abreu didn't have it. A's win 3-1, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop the game right there. I don't care to see any of that. They're celebrating and going crazy. Astros lose to the A's. They get walked off after walking off the Twins 2 games in a row. I just had a feeling that they were gonna get walked off, and it's a final 3-1. Jose Abreu. Why do I keep saying that? Brian Abreu gives up maybe that's why, because he lost the game. That's why I called him Jose Abreu. He gives up the 2-run homer in the 9th. The Astros get walked off by the A's. How about that? Like we often say, the Astros play up or play down to whoever they're facing, right? But let me go ahead and give you guys a really quick, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this since the Astros didn't do crap this game, but I'll do the quick game recap, and then we'll look at tomorrow's game and see who's going to be on the mound. I think there have been some changes. In the first inning, Altuve had a solo home run, and that was the only run that the Astros would score the entire game. Just that one solo homer. The Astros had 8 hits, and they weren't able to do anything else. As of right now, no pitcher that I know of has been announced for the Astros tomorrow. It's currently undecided. However, J.P. Sears will be on the mound for the A's. Game is at the same time, but I'll be back home tomorrow. So no late start for me. I should be on time. I'll be back home in my old house, and no problem. Let's see here. Today's game, actually, let me see if I can share my screen with you guys. I want to put this on the screen so you guys can see it. 1 second, and I will share the screen with you guys. I need to reselect the area of the screen that I'm showing. There we go. How about that? Oops. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Boom. There we are. Okay. You can see in today's game, one hit in the first inning was the big hit for the Astros. Home run by Altuve. The only run for the Astros. They had 2 errors today and 8 hits. The A's got a solo home run in the 5th to tie it up, and then they walked it off with another home run, a 2-run shot off Abreu in the 9th. And that's all you need to know about that. It's really sad because if you look over here on the left side, you can see that all of the pitchers except for Abreu had a wonderful game. Gusto pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 run, had just 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, a career high for Gusto, 1 walk. Great game for Gusto. Great game. Okert, no hits, 1 strikeout. Dubin, 1 hit. No runs. No earned runs at all for these guys. Brian King, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, no runs. And then Abreu comes in and loses the game with a walk and a home run. But the big deal here is really the Astros' lack of hitting. That's the problem. Continues to be a problem, a lack of consistency, especially when the Astros have such a great pitching outing like they did in this game. But as you can see here, it winds up bad. 1-3 Astros lose. And that's it. The last thing I can do here is check the live chat. And then I'm going to go check out of here and head to Costco to go shopping. So I can load up my new fridge. Let's see, guys. What do we have in the live chat? Fred says walk off. Yeah, it was. It was. Win some, lose some. That's right, Casey. Jordan said, I had a feeling the opposite of last night where I had the feeling we'd win. Yeah, I had the feeling that we'd get walked off. We walked off 2 in a row. What goes around comes around, I guess. At least we didn't lose our lead in the division, right? Ace, have a good night. Good game to you too. Well, you know, kind of a good game. In some ways. Pitching-wise, it was good until Abreu. Sergio says the only good news is that we didn't lose any ground to the Mariners or the Stankies. That's right. We're all even. Okay. Can't win them all, says Fred. Astros can still win the series, which is always the goal. That's right. We can win. We can get the next 3. At least we weren't shut out. That's true. By the A's, can you imagine getting shut out? It's bad enough we only got 1 run, but my gosh, shut out, that'd be terrible. Gusto did his job. You're right, Fred. Another one of those miracle pitchers from Sugarland. Yeah, man, he's been doing really good. He's coming along. Astros need to back up these pitchers. When they do that kind of work, we need to back them up with runs. Sergio says tomorrow's game, will it be at the same time? Yes, that's correct. Caesar says good night. Stros, good night to you, Caesar. Thank you for being here. Houston is not good in California, says Johnny. They're pretty good in LA. Pretty good in LA, I'll say that. And that's what really counts, especially with the Dodgers. But that's pretty much it for me today, guys. Final count on the likes today was 36. Thank you so much. I was kind of surprised to see it go up that high on the A's, but I do appreciate you being here, supporting the channel. Thank you for all the comments, all the support. Looking forward to tomorrow's game being much better than today's game. But that's it for now. I want to say thank you again. And as usual, all there is left to say is Go Stros. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you so much. And yes, Fred, you're welcome. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you to everyone else. See you tomorrow.